There's a lot of controversy about the ICE crackdown, especially because it's associated with the orange guy, and anything he does, people are going to react to it strongly. But that being said, I'm not going to dismiss it as such, because there are some serious questions raised. I mean, what we're seeing is a federal, a state's police, a Staatspolizei. A friend of mine called them the ICE Stapo. He's not entirely fucking wrong. I mean, it's always a slippery slope when you allow any kind of massive attack on just, citizens over, okay, now these people, they're not, I guess the issue is they're not technically citizens. Their target is all the undocumented people that are in this country. And there are a great few, but if they're here and they're not the bad examples they like to cite, the ones that got the face tats and rap sheet as long as your arm, the vast majority of them, of course you're going to have in any human demographic some really bad actors who are going to be in the mix, but the vast majority of them are just fucking folks, and they're working jobs and they got kids, and they're not really a threat to anybody. Their only offense is they are afoul of this law that says so. And it's a lot like the war on drugs. These were like regular people, and for something as minor as being into weed, you could have your door kicked in. You could go to prison for a long time. It got really bad. And the argument I always made then, and that I have to make now, is, hey, okay, you can say, well, they shouldn't have done what they did, but it's a slippery fucking slope. Because, okay, right now it's this premise, but what if they start expanding the premises? What if the modus operandi becomes, business as usual? And so, we've established a precedent. We do it in this circumstance. Why not do it in every circumstance? And suddenly everybody has to worry about doors kicked in, bank accounts seized, stripped of all ability and assets to fight what's being done to you through legal, recourse, because they ruled, Supreme Court fucking ruled. The liberal Supreme Court, before the Trump appointments, ruled in favor of they can come in and they can take all your money, even if that strips you of the ability to defend yourself against this major legal action that's been taken against you, where you're charged with shit, where you could do serious federal prison time because of things like the omnibus, crime bill. And, that was a major factor in the war on drugs. That was a Democrat baby. That was Joe Biden's baby. I mean, I'm not a fucking Republican supporter. I'm not a Democrat supporter. I know what they've done, both of them. And they've both been complicit in these fucking really fascist fucking power plays, as long as it's based on a non-fascist sounding premise, that it's for the good, I mean, this shit started a long time ago. I mean, Nixon started the first big major action war on drugs. It was in his administration that you started to see, drug offenses singled out as particularly heinous and requiring stiff response from the justice system. And they started doing the kicking in the doors and the whatnot. And that went on right before one Christmas. The fucking team that was going in and doing the entry in the bus, they got the wrong fucking house. And I hope they thought they were going to get somebody really bad news, like Major, although who like that would be based out of some family residential, I don't know. But they went in there like that. And back then, the video technology, they didn't have cell phones yet. It was in the 70s, early 70s, like 72, I think. It was a Super 8 camera, which had this, the later version had like a pistol grip on it, so it was easier to carry because it was an actual film camera. And so it used Super 8 film, which is a smaller reel, but it was still a clunky little thing. So it looked like a a pistol kind of in shape. And this lady, the mom of the family, she's filming the family members, doing their thing in front of the tree, Merry Christmas, la la la. The door gets banged open. She turns around quick, like, what the hell? She's got this thing in her hand. I guess they thought it was a Uzi or something like that, an automatic pistol. They shot her dead right in front of her people, right there. Merry fucking Christmas, huh? And it was the wrong house. The wrong fucking house, right? But they went in there gunned up, ready to go. And that was the end of the first big war on drugs crackdown, because the optics on that were terrible. These were Ozzie and Harriet white people. You fucked up. You took it to the fucking straight white people. If you just stuck with doing that kind of bullshit to the fucking people of color, you'd have got away with it like you always have. Because the big crackdowns on drugs, the dirty secret of them, they're always aimed at people of color. It ain't about the drugs. That's the premise. They go after people of color. That's how it was in 1914. That's how it was in the early 70s. And that's how it was during the second war on drugs under Bush. And it continued with Clinton, by the way. He wasn't the savior. He didn't legalize marijuana. Everybody really thought that he was going to legalize marijuana at least, which is just half-stepping. That's just the white folks, because it was back then, it was mostly white kids smoking marijuana. It hadn't stayed an ethnic thing. It had become the white kids' thing to do. And so they just wanted to, not get lumped in with the people of color in that kind of Gestapo shit. They were hoping to go back to the fold of white people. It's like, hey, we're still white. We just smoke pot. It doesn't make us those people. That's the dirty little secret of marijuana reform. They just wanted to distance themselves from the fucking Jim Crow fucking bullshit drug enforcement. So that's the fucking problem. Because, okay, you say, well, it's necessary for these kind of tactics to be used against people who, yeah, they're undocumented aliens, and it is an issue. But if it's a victimless crime, if they're not somebody who's come over here and they're like a cartel operative or, a bad actor in some kind of way, I'm sorry, but it should be throw them into the civil court system like you would to a deadbeat dad who hadn't paid the child support. So you've got control, you got power over them that's more than adequate. Can you imagine that? You got deadbeat dads, you got the fucking SWAT team coming in and taking them down, waving their guns, brandishing them. They're doing that shit in the fucking ICE raids. They're pointing their guns at people who they're not even the subject. They just thought they were. It turns out they were legal citizens, and it's only a matter of time. You got the gun in your hand and flailing it around. Sooner or later, you're going to fucking shoot somebody. That doesn't show any kind of proper discipline. It should be like, you look at a military infantry guy, and he's got his carbine right here at rest. It's pointed down, and he keeps it firmly pointed down. It's ready to go, but it does not come out of that position until certain protocols are met. And that's the fucking protocol you got to do when you're out there dealing with fucking just regular people around. This ain't no fucking battlefield. You don't get to write off the collateral damage. Nor should you entirely ever do that, but fucking war, bombs blow up everybody. Explosion doesn't have a specific address. People bitch about Palantir with their location software, and that's helping the military do the thing they do. That saved lives. That's why they can do shit like the Ginsu Hellfire that just kills the person and maybe somebody right next to them, instead of the Hellfire with the high power explosive that took out the whole city block and killed men, women, children, babies, because they were just too close to the target and they needed to get him, they said. So this shit's real. And, I get sick when I get people say, well, because Trump. No. He's the one that has started this thing up. But if you think that him going bye-bye, they're not going to reserve the right to fucking flex this kind of shit as long as an established precedent is set. If you think they're not going to keep doing it, you're out of your fucking mind. You're naive and stupid. This shit has nothing to do with the orange guy, Republican, Democrat, left, right. This has to do with the government working shit to get what they want. And the big problem with all of us being all fucked up with each other and doing all this internecine, partisan politics like we're rooting for soccer teams is that it makes them easier to get away with that shit. Because we think that, if we get this side to win, we won. You won nothing. You get to get fucked by the fucker that you voted for. Yay. Aren't you fucking happy now, you dumb shit? For fuck's sake. This is how they play us. And nobody seems to get it. I seem to be the only person that understands how this shit is going down. And how nobody fucking understands this shit. It's scary. Bunch of fucking lemmings. They are in a position to do immense harm to us as a people collectively because of how we are responding to this setup. They put up a Punch and Judy show and everybody's rooting for Punch or Judy. Are you fucking kidding me? Wake up, people, please.